The great crystal dome of the Galactic Council building stretched high above the gathered representatives, its walls humming with the energy of 47 different species. In the center of the vast chamber, Elder Vorthak raised his 6 arms to call for silence. His crystalline body glowed with a soft blue light as he spoke. "We gather today because of a new species," he announced, his voice carrying to every corner of the room. "They call themselves humans, and they live on the 3rd planet of a yellow star system." At the back of the chamber, Commander Hyojin stood quietly in her dark blue uniform. She was human herself, but had been chosen to speak for her people because she understood both human and alien ways of thinking. Next to her, Captain Sung Ho checked his datapad nervously. "The first contact team has finished studying these humans," Elder Vorthak continued. "What they found should concern us all." A large screen appeared in the air above the assembly. Images of Earth flashed across it, cities full of millions of people, vast oceans and green forests. But then, the images changed to show something else entirely. Battlefields, weapons, soldiers fighting with determination that seemed almost insane. "These humans," Elder Vorthak explained, "are different from other species we have encountered. When faced with a stronger enemy, most species surrender or negotiate. Humans do something else. They adapt. They learn. They turn their weaknesses into weapons." A loud snort of laughter came from the Zephyrian section. General Gorlax stood up, his massive reptilian form casting a shadow across nearby seats. His skin was covered in battle scars, and his yellow eyes gleamed with contempt. "Ridiculous," General Gorlax roared. "These creatures barely know how to leave their own planet. They use chemical rockets like children playing with fireworks. The mighty Zephyrian Empire has conquered 17 star systems with technology these humans couldn't understand in 1,000 years. Commander Hyojin stepped forward. "General Gorlax, with respect, that might not be the whole picture. Humans have a long history of facing impossible odds and finding ways to win." "Impossible odds?" General Gorlax laughed again. "What impossible odds could primitives face on one small planet?" Captain Sung Ho activated his own data display. "General, let me show you something. This is from our year 1944. One small island nation was attacked by a much larger enemy with better weapons, more soldiers, and superior technology. Instead of surrendering, the defenders turned their own aircraft into guided missiles, crashing them into enemy ships. They fought so hard that the attackers needed 4 years and millions of soldiers to win." The chamber grew quiet. Several alien representatives began taking notes. "But that's not the important part," Captain Sung Ho continued. "The important part is that they were fighting other humans, beings with the same intelligence and the same technology. Imagine what they might do when fighting someone completely different." Dr. Mi-young, a small woman with gray hair, stood up from the human section. "May I add something, Elder Vorthak?" The crystalline being nodded. "We've studied human behavior for thousands of years," Dr. Mi-young explained. "When humans face a threat they cannot defeat with their current abilities, they do something unusual. They don't just try harder, they change the rules of the game entirely." "What does that mean?" asked a representative from the peaceful Altarian collective. "It means they take things that weren't weapons and turn them into weapons. They take disadvantages and turn them into advantages. They learn from their enemies faster than anyone thought possible." General Gorlax slammed his fist on his chair's armrest, making a sound like thunder. "Enough of these fairy tales. I've heard enough about these remarkable humans. The Zephyrian Empire will test them ourselves." Elder Vorthak's body flashed bright red, a sign of extreme alarm among his people. "General Gorlax, this is exactly what we're warning against. Every species that has underestimated a determined enemy has regretted it." "Then perhaps," General Gorlax said with a cruel smile, "it's time for the galaxy to see what real power looks like. I formally request permission to make contact with these humans." Everyone in the chamber knew what he really meant. This wasn't going to be peaceful contact. Elder Vorthak called for a vote. All in favor of approving General Gorlax's request? The Zephyrian delegation raised their clawed hands, along with a few other war-loving species. The motion passed, but barely. "Very well," Elder Vorthak said, his voice heavy with sadness. "But let this be entered into the official record. The Galactic Council hereby warns all species that humans are classified as an extreme adaptive threat. Approach them with maximum caution. As the session ended, Dr. Mi Young walked over to Elder Vorthak. What happens now? The ancient being's light dimmed. Now we wait to see if General Gorlax will learn why our secret files call your species the survivors of the death world. General Gorlax left the chamber already planning his attack on Earth. In his mind, this would be the easiest conquest in Zephyrian history. He would land, demonstrate his superior weapons, and the humans would surrender like every other primitive species. He had no idea that he was about to make the biggest mistake in his empire's history. 3 months after the council meeting, 47 massive ships appeared at the edge of Earth's solar system. They moved through space like hunting predators, their dark hulls gleaming with unknown metals and crackling with energy weapons that could destroy planets. General Gorlax stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Dominator, watching the small blue planet through his viewscreen. Behind him, his officers worked at control panels that hummed with power beyond human understanding. "Scan complete, General," reported his navigation officer. "The planet has several space stations and primitive spacecraft. Their most advanced weapon appears to be simple nuclear devices." Colonel Threx joined Gorlax at the viewscreen, pointing at the orbital structures around Earth. "Look at those pathetic metal boxes floating in space. Our lightest destroyer could vaporize their largest station with one shot." On Earth, Admiral Jamin watched the alien fleet through powerful telescopes from the Lunar Observatory. The ships were unlike anything humans had ever imagined, sleek and deadly, like sharks made of metal and energy. "Analysis complete, Admiral," reported Commander So Young from Earth Defense Command. 47 vessels, all much larger than anything we have. Their energy readings suggest weapons far beyond our technology. Admiral Jamin nodded grimly. "Begin emergency evacuation of all civilian space stations. All military units go to maximum alert." Dr. Teho looked up from his instruments with worry. "Admiral, they're scanning our installations with some kind of energy beam. They know exactly what we have and where it is." Aboard the Dominator, General Gorlax studied the scan results with satisfaction. Everything was exactly as he expected. Primitive defenses, weak weapons, no energy shields worth mentioning. "Select 3 of their installations for demonstration," he ordered Colonel Threx. "Let's show them the price of defying the Zephyrian Empire." "Which ones, General?" "Their largest civilian mining station, their main military outpost, and that little research station they call the International Space Station. Make sure the destruction is visible from their planet." The attack came without warning. Brilliant! Beams of energy shot across space at the speed of light, striking Mining Station Alpha 7. The installation, built to survive asteroid impacts, simply vanished in a flash of light. 300 people died instantly. Emergency alarms screamed across Earth as Admiral Jamin coordinated the response from deep underground bunkers. "All stations, this is Admiral Jamin. We are under attack. Implement emergency protocols immediately. Begin evacuation of all personnel." Commander Haywan from the International Space Station sent a desperate message. "Earth Control, this is ISS. We can see alien weapons targeting us. Beginning emergency evacuation now." But the aliens were faster. The second energy beam turned the ISS into glowing debris, though escape pods carrying the crew managed to get away just in time. General Gorlax opened communication channels to Earth. His image appeared on every television, computer screen, and communication device on the planet. Behind him, the bridge of his ship displayed technology that seemed like magic to human eyes. "Primitive creatures of the third planet," General Gorlax announced, his voice filled with the authority of someone who had conquered star systems. "I am General Gorlax of the Zephyrian Empire. You have seen what our weapons can do. Your resistance is meaningless." President Yejin responded from her secure bunker beneath the White House, her voice controlled but angry. "General Gorlax, you have attacked civilian installations and murdered innocent people. We demand you stop this aggression immediately." General Gorlax's laughter echoed across space. "You demand? You have no right to demand anything. Here are your choices: complete surrender, regular payments of your planet's resources to the Empire, and acceptance of our rule. You have 72 hours to decide. The transmission ended, leaving Earth in shocked silence. But in the deep military bunkers, a different conversation was happening. General Jinwoo, head of Earth's most secret research projects, stood before screens showing pieces of the destroyed space stations. "Have we learned anything useful from the wreckage?" he asked. Dr. Yunji from the Science Division looked excited despite the terrible situation. "Yes, sir. The alien weapons use controlled plasma guided by magnetic fields. More importantly, their ship hulls have a specific crystal structure that makes them incredibly strong but gives them a weakness." "What kind of weakness?" "If we can generate the right sound frequency, we might be able to make their hulls shake apart. But we would need to get close enough to study them properly first." "Commander." Dong-hyun from Special Operations looked up from his planning table. "General, I've been studying their attack pattern. They're following basic military procedure. Shock the enemy, then demand surrender. They expect us to give up immediately." "But we won't give up," General Jinwoo stated firmly. "No, sir, we won't. But that means they'll attack again, and we need to be ready. I recommend we start the Prometheus Protocol." Dr. Yunji looked worried. "Prometheus Protocol? That's completely untested." "So was nuclear power until we needed it," General Jinwoo replied. "How long do you need to prepare the first test?" "If we work day and night and use every research facility on Earth, 48 hours. Then we better start now." Unknown to the humans, their conversation was being monitored by Zephyrian listening devices. Colonel Threx reviewed the intercepted communications with amusement. "General, the humans are planning some sort of test using their primitive scientific equipment. Should we be worried?" General Gorlax barely looked at the report. "Let them play, with their toys. In 72 hours, this planet will belong to the Empire, and these humans will learn to serve their betters." On Earth, something different was beginning. In laboratories around the world, human scientists started taking apart every piece of alien debris they could find. What they discovered would change everything. Dr. Kang Ho, examining fragments under a powerful microscope, made the first breakthrough. "The alien technology isn't magic," he reported to research teams worldwide. "It's very advanced, but it follows the same laws of physics we know." "And if it follows our laws," added Dr. Yu Jin from Tokyo, "then we can learn to break it." The human race began the most desperate learning effort in its history, turning the enemy's greatest strength into their own weakness. 60 hours after General Gorlax's ultimatum, he received a message from Earth that he never expected. President Ye Jin appeared on his communication screen, but instead of fear in her eyes, he saw something that made him uncomfortable. Determination. "General Gorlax," she said calmly, "humanity rejects your terms. Instead, we offer you our own. Deal. Leave our solar system now and we'll pretend this was all a misunderstanding." General Gorlax's roar of laughter shook his entire bridge. "Magnificent stupidity. Colonel Threx, prepare all weapons. These insects need to learn respect through pain." "General," interrupted his communications officer, "we're detecting strange energy readings from multiple locations on their planet. It looks like they're charging some kind of weapon system." "Let them fire their primitive toys," Gorlax snarled. "Begin bombardment of their major cities." What General Gorlax didn't know was that Dr. Yunji's team had achieved something impossible. Working with debris from the destroyed space stations, they had not only figured out how alien technology worked, but they had found its weakness. Control. "Center, this is Dr. Chang Min at the Particle Accelerator in Switzerland," came the report over secret communication channels. "We've successfully modified our equipment to match the alien ship's weakness frequency, ready for test firing." "Confirmed, Switzerland. Beijing reports ready. Tokyo reports ready. All stations prepare for coordinated attack." Admiral J. Min watched from Earth Defense Command as the first wave of alien destroyers entered Earth's atmosphere, their plasma weapons beginning to glow with deadly light. "All stations," he commanded, "you are authorized to fire." Across Earth, 6 massive particle accelerators that had been secretly converted into weapons fired at the same time. The invisible beam struck the lead alien destroyer with perfect accuracy. The effect was immediate and devastating. The alien ship's hull began to vibrate like a bell being struck, then suddenly cracked apart like glass. The destroyer broke into pieces in Earth's atmosphere, its debris falling into the Pacific Ocean. On the Dominator, alarm sirens screamed as confused officers tried to understand what had happened. "Report," General Gorlax demanded. "Sir, the Decimator has been destroyed, but we detect no missiles, no energy weapons from their planet. Impossible. Their technology is centuries behind ours." Colonel Threck studied the sensor readings with growing worry. "General, whatever destroyed our ship came from the planet's surface, but the energy signature doesn't match anything in our military database." Meanwhile, in converted laboratories across Earth, teams of human scientists worked frantically to reverse engineer every piece of alien technology they could study. Dr. Seok Jin at Seoul National University made a breakthrough. "We've broken their communication codes. We can not only listen to everything they say, but we can send false information to their computers." At the same time, Captain Hyun-woo was flying the most dangerous mission in human history. His fighter jet, modified with experimental shields made from alien debris, approached the wreckage of an alien scout ship that had crashed in the Nevada desert. "Control, this is Eagle 1, beginning salvage operation on the crashed alien ship." "Copy. Eagle 1, work fast. Satellite shows more alien ships heading your way." Captain Hyun-woo landed near the crashed vessel, its strange metal still glowing with leftover energy. Working quickly, he began cutting away pieces of the ship's hull and loading them into his aircraft. "Control, I'm inside the alien ship now. The technology is incredible. Their computers are still working and I can access their navigation systems. Take what you can, Eagle 1. Multiple alien ships are approaching your position." But Captain Hyun-woo had found something extraordinary. The ship's computer contained detailed information about the entire alien fleet, their positions, their attack plans, and most importantly, the technical details of all their weapons. "Control, I've got everything. Complete intelligence on their entire fleet." Minutes later, his fighter screamed away from the crash site just as alien recovery ships arrived. They found only an empty hull stripped of everything valuable. The captured intelligence allowed Earth's defenders to plan their next move with deadly precision. General Jin-woo studied the alien data with Dr. Min-ho, Earth's new expert on alien technology. "Look at this," Dr. Min-ho said, pointing to the holographic display. "Their ships are incredibly powerful, but they're designed to fight other advanced civilizations. They have almost no protection against simple kinetic weapons." Kinetic weapons? Rocks. General, very fast rocks. This discovery led to the creation of what became known as the David system. Using modified nuclear missiles, human engineers created weapons that fired dense metal rods at incredible speeds. The first test came when alien fighters tried to attack Los Angeles. Commander Jun Seo, flying a hastily modified bomber, launched the first David missile from high altitude. The metal rod, accelerated to tremendous velocity using captured alien technology, struck the lead alien fighter. The kinetic energy was devastating. The alien craft disintegrated instantly, and the shockwave disabled 2 nearby ships. General Gorlax watched his tactical display in growing disbelief as his supposedly invincible forces began taking heavy casualties from weapons that shouldn't have been able to harm them. "How are they doing this?" he demanded. "Their technology is primitive." "Sir," his science officer reported nervously, "analysis suggests they're using our own technology against us. Somehow they've learned to copy our systems." "In 3 days? That's impossible." But impossible was becoming normal for humanity. In laboratories, factories, and military bases around the world, humans were demonstrating their species' greatest talent, learning from their enemies and turning disadvantages into weapons. Dr. Soo Jin at Tokyo Institute of Technology summarized it perfectly in her report. "The aliens made a critical mistake. They gave us examples of their technology to study. Now we're teaching them why humans are the top predators on their own planet." The war was far from over, but the balance of power was shifting in ways General Gorlax could never have imagined. The hunters were becoming the hunted. 1 week into what General Gorlax had expected to be a simple conquest, he found himself staring at reports that made no sense. His mighty fleet, which had conquered 17 star systems, was being systematically destroyed by creatures he had dismissed as primitive animals. "Give me the damage report," he ordered his tactical officer with barely controlled rage. "Sir, we've lost 8 destroyers, 3 cruisers, and 15 fighter squadrons. The humans have somehow turned everything into weapons. Their mining equipment, their communication satellites, even their garbage collection ships." Colonel Threx approached with visible concern, etched on his scarred face. "General, our intelligence teams have been monitoring human communications. They're calling this Operation Payback, and every nation on their planet has joined together under something called the Terra Defense Alliance." Joined together? These creatures were fighting wars among themselves when we arrived. "Apparently, sir, threatening their entire species made them forget their differences. Every human government is now sending resources to fight us." General Gorlax studied the tactical display showing the solar system. Red dots marked his remaining ships, while blue dots showed an alarming number of human defensive positions and mobile units that seemed to multiply daily. "What worries me most," Colonel Threx continued, "is how fast they're advancing technologically. 3 days ago, they were using chemical rockets. Now they have energy weapons based on our own designs. The proof came as Commander Wu Jin led the first squadron of human ships equipped with reverse-engineered alien technology. His vessel, originally an asteroid mining ship called the Resilience, now mounted particle beam weapons that could threaten even the largest alien warships. All units, this is Commander Wu Jin. We're approaching the alien patrol line. Remember, these ships are designed to fight advanced civilizations. They won't expect ramming attacks from ships they think are worthless." His squadron was made up of converted civilian vessels, mining ships, cargo haulers, and even luxury yachts, all hastily fitted with alien technology and crewed by volunteers who knew this might be their last mission. Resilience. This is Captain Bongho in the Defiance. I'm reading multiple alien contacts ahead. They're not taking defensive positions. I don't think they see us as a real threat. Then let's give them an education. All ships, execute attack pattern desperate. The human ships accelerated toward the alien patrol, but instead of fighting normally, they used tactics no reasonable military would attempt. Captain Young, commanding a converted luxury yacht called Hope's Dream, flew directly into the firing range of an alien destroyer, taking massive damage while her gunners targeted the enemy ship's weapon systems. Hope's Dream. "To all units," she transmitted, as her ship's hull began to crack and burn, "I've knocked out their main guns. Someone finish them off." Commander Wu Jin's Resilience swept in, its mining lasers now enhanced with alien technology, cutting through the destroyer's weakened defenses. The alien ship exploded in a brilliant cascade of energy, but Captain Na Young's ship was dying. As Hope's Dream broke apart around her, she sent her final message. "Tell Earth we made them pay." The loss of an entire patrol group to converted civilian vessels sent shockwaves through the alien fleet. General Gorlax realized he was no longer fighting primitives. He was fighting an enemy that learned something new from every battle. "General," his communications officer reported, "we're receiving a transmission from Earth. It's being broadcast on all frequencies throughout the system." Admiral Jamin appeared on the main screen, standing in what was clearly a military command center. Behind him, displays showed the exact locations of every alien ship in the system. "General Gorlax," Admiral Jamin began, "this is Admiral Jamin of the Terran Defense Force. We're offering you one chance to leave our system with whatever ships you have left." General Gorlax's response was immediate and furious. "You dare offer terms to the Zephyrian Empire? Your pathetic ships are held together with scrap metal and desperate hope. General, you've been fighting us for 1 week. In that time, we've destroyed 30% of your fleet, captured your technology, and learned your tactics. We've also discovered something interesting about your species." The screen split to show Dr. Kyung Ho from Earth's Alien Studies Department. "General." "Gorlax," Dr. Kyung Ho explained, "your species evolved on a world with predictable enemies and clear hierarchies. You fight wars by showing superior technology then forcing surrender through overwhelming power. It's a logical approach. What is your point, Primitive? Our point, Admiral Jamin resumed, is that humans evolved differently. We came from a world where everything tried to kill us, where survival required constant adaptation, and where losing meant complete extinction. We don't fight to show superiority. We fight to eliminate threats permanently. At that moment, Captain Daijung was implementing the most desperate plan in human military history. His team had converted Earth's lunar base into a massive kinetic weapon, using alien technology to accelerate the entire installation toward the alien flagship. "Lunar base to Earth Command," Captain Daijung transmitted calmly. "We're on final approach to the alien flagship. All personnel have evacuated, detonating fusion reactors in 30 seconds. General Gorlax watched in horror as his sensors detected the approaching installation. "Impossible! They've weaponized their own moon base!" "All ships, evasive action!" Colonel Threx shouted desperately, but lunar base was too massive and moving too fast to avoid. Captain Daijung's final words were simple. For humanity. The explosion could be seen from Earth with naked eyes. Lunar base's reactors, enhanced with captured alien technology, detonated against the Dominator's shields with the power of a small star. The flagship survived, but its shields collapsed and its weapons went offline. In the aftermath, General Gorlax faced a terrible realization. He wasn't fighting soldiers anymore. He was fighting an entire species that had decided. His fleet represented total extinction, and was responding accordingly. "Sir," his tactical officer whispered, "long-range sensors show more human ships coming from the outer system. They've been using the asteroid belt to build additional vessels." "How many ships?" "Unknown, sir. But the energy signatures suggest they're all using our technology against us." For the first time since the invasion began, General Gorlax understood what the Council had tried to warn him about. These humans didn't just learn from superior technology. They absorbed it, improved it, and used it with a savage creativity that no civilized species would employ. 2 months after the invasion began, the Dominator limped through space on emergency power, its hull scarred by weapons that shouldn't have existed. General Gorlax stood in what remained of his command center, watching the tactical display with something approaching despair. "Report," he commanded wearily. Colonel Threx, his own, uniform torn and bloodied from the latest human attack, consulted his damaged instruments. "Sir, we've lost 73% of our fleet. The humans have established orbital shipyards using our own technology and are producing vessels at an unprecedented rate." "And our reinforcements?" "High Command has declined to send additional fleets, sir. They're classifying this as a learning experience and have ordered us to extract what intelligence we can before withdrawal." The bitter irony wasn't lost on General Gorlax. The Zephyrian Empire, which had conquered star systems through overwhelming technological superiority, was retreating from a species that had achieved spaceflight less than a century ago. The reason became clear as Commander Sungmin led the Terran pursuit fleet in its final assault on the remaining Zephyrian forces. His flagship, the Retribution, was built entirely from reverse-engineered alien technology, but incorporated human innovations that made it deadlier than the original designs. "All ships, this is Commander Sungmin. Enemy vessels are attempting to reach the hyperspace jump point. Do not let them escape our system." Captain Yonsu, commanding the destroyer Vengeance, reported from the fleet's vanguard. "Commander, alien vessels are jettisoning cargo pods, appears to be their dead and wounded. Let them, but maintain pursuit. These invaders need to understand that attacking Earth carries consequences." Dr. Hae-sung, monitoring the engagement from Earth's orbital command station, observed something that would become crucial to humanity's future. "The aliens are broadcasting on emergency frequencies," she reported. "They're calling for help." "From whom?" asked Admiral Jamin. "Unknown, but the signal is directed toward galactic core regions. They're not just retreating, they're asking for rescue." Aboard the Dominator, General Gorlax made the decision that would haunt him for the rest of his life. Opening communication, channels to the approaching human fleet, he appeared on their screens as a broken military commander, his arrogance replaced by desperate pragmatism. "Human commander," he began. "I am General Gorlax of the Zephyrian Empire. I request terms." For the withdrawal of my remaining forces. Commander Sungmin's response was cold and measured. General Gorlax, you came to our system with overwhelming force, destroyed civilian installations and murdered innocent people. Why should we grant you anything other than destruction? Because, General Gorlax replied, his pride finally broken, our species has proven something that the galaxy needs to understand. The Council was right to warn against you. We ignored that warning and paid the price. What price, General? The price of underestimating a species that turns everything into a weapon, that learns from every defeat, and that fights not for conquest but for survival. You've taken our most advanced technology and made it better. You've used tactics that no military academy teaches because they're too dangerous, too costly in lives. Captain G1, monitoring the conversation from her position with the pursuit fleet, interjected, General, you started this war expecting easy conquest. Now you're learning why humans survived on a world that constantly tried to kill them. General. Gorlax nodded slowly. Your planet, we studied it before invasion. 99% of all species that ever lived there went extinct. But you survived, and now I understand why. You don't just adapt, you weaponize adaptation itself. The truth of this was evident throughout the Sol system. Humans had converted asteroids into kinetic weapons, turned communication satellites into EMP generators, and modified civilian spacecraft into warships that could challenge the galaxy's most advanced navy. General, Commander Sungmin continued, here are our terms. Your remaining ships will leave our system immediately. You will broadcast a message on all galactic frequencies, explaining exactly what happened here, and you will never return. And if we refuse, then you'll discover what humans do to existential threats. We've already demonstrated our willingness to sacrifice everything to eliminate you. Don't test our resolve further. 3 days later, the surviving Zephyrian ships jumped to hyperspace, carrying with them a tale that would reshape galactic politics. General Gorlax's final report to the Zephyrian High Command was brutally honest. The humans are not a primitive species. They are the apex predators of their world, and they have brought that predatory intelligence to warfare in space. They learn faster than any species we've encountered. They adapt to superior technology within weeks, and they fight with a ferocity that suggests they view every conflict as species survival. But the report that truly mattered was transmitted to the Galactic Council. Elder Vorthak received General Gorlax's desperate message in his crystalline chambers, surrounded by the Council's emergency session. Elder Vorthak, General Gorlax's image pleaded from the transmission. The Zephyrian Empire formally requests Council protection from human retaliation. We were wrong to ignore the warnings. The humans are not just dangerous, they're learning our technology and improving it. Their ships are now patrolling the edges of our space. Elder Vorthak's response was delivered with the weight of absolute authority. General Gorlax, the Council issued clear warnings about humanity. You chose to ignore those warnings in favor of conquest. The consequences of that choice are yours to bear. But Elder, they're pursuing our ships. They've established what they call buffer zones around their system using our own technology. Which brings us to the Council's new ruling, Elder Vorthak announced. Humanity is hereby classified as a protected developing species with full territorial rights. Any species attempting hostile contact will be considered in violation of galactic law. The session concluded with a new entry in the Galactic Registry. Species, human, Homo sapiens. Classification, Death World Apex Predator. Threat level, variable. Extreme under hostile conditions. Recommendation, non-interference protocols mandatory. These beings weaponize everything, learn from all encounters, and treat threats to their species as extinction events requiring total response. 6 months later, Captain Inho commanded the first human exploration vessel to leave the Sol system. The Pioneer, built with hybrid human-alien technology, carried a simple message that was broadcast on all known frequencies as it passed the edge of human space. This is Captain Inho of the Terran Exploration Service. Humanity greets the galaxy in peace. We seek knowledge, trade, and friendship with all species. However, let it be known that Earth remembers those who come as friends and those who come as enemies. We tried to be peaceful. Some chose otherwise. This is what they earned. The message concluded with detailed sensor logs of the Zephyrian fleet's destruction, broadcast as both greeting and warning to the galaxy beyond. General Gorlax, exiled to a remote outpost on the edge of Zephyrian space, spent his remaining years warning any who would listen: never underestimate a species that survived its own world, never attack beings who turn everything into weapons, and never ever ignore the Council when they issue warnings about humans. The galaxy had learned a new truth: some species were best left alone.